The failure of the Fyra project has taken a heavy toll on NS international services, specifically the NS Intercity Direct from Amsterdam to Rotterdam and destinations in Belgium. Meet the brand new ICNG, the solution to this problem. Today, I'll be checking out the revolutionary design and features of this train and seeing just how well the new face of Dutch intercity services performs. Now let's get this show on the rails! We begin today's journey right in the heart of the Dutch capital, from the stunning Amsterdam Centraal station. This grand and unique structure was designed by Dutch architect Pierre Cooper, who also designed the city's Rijksmuseum, Museum, and completed in 1884. As you can see, the main entrance is currently blocked, but I'll go into this shortly as we check out the station interior. This is just as architecturally pleasing as the exterior, or at least I'd like to say that. Amsterdam Centraal has been undergoing a renovation program since May 2023, a month before this video was recorded, and it should see completion in 2030, taking a total of 7 years. There are plenty of shops for amenities in the main hall, however, there's far more inside the actual station itself. Regardless of whether you have an e-ticket, like me, all ticket machines in here and the rest of the Netherlands operate by scanning them on the barcode reader, something I still find lacking in other countries worldwide. You may actually be surprised to know that despite this being the main station serving the Dutch capital, this is actually the second busiest station in the Netherlands after Utrecht Centraal, with over 192,000 passengers per day. However, it still stands as the country's most visited Rijks monument. There's also plenty of onward connections by almost every form of transport you can think of, ranging from the tram to the metro and even the boats. The majority of the station's shops are located in the underground subway, though as the name suggests, this is principally used to navigate all 11 of Amsterdam Centraal's platforms. We'll be departing from platform 8 today, however our train is not scheduled to depart for another half hour. Nevertheless, we can use the time productively and check out the other operators in stock here. We emerge to the view of the original 1889 built train shed, which is highlighted well with the brilliant weather in Amsterdam today. The station is also known for its large array of international services to further destinations within Europe. Examples include Thalys for services to Brussels and Paris, Deutsche Bahn services to Cologne, Berlin and other destinations in Germany, and of course Eurostar services to London, though there is a lot of controversy surrounding this service at the moment, which I'll save for a future video. Most of the domestic services here are operated by the Dutch state rail operator NS, who we'll be travelling with today. Sprinter services, despite the name, are used on local stoppers between Dutch cities, whilst intercity services are the faster limited stop ones for those who are more in a rush. The top brand of Dutch intercity services is the NS Intercity Direct, which is the brand used by NS for services principally operated along the HSL Zuid towards destinations such as Rotterdam, Breda and onward travel to Belgium. There is a €2.90 supplement for these services beyond Schiphol Airport, which can be booked through ticket machines, the NS app, or if you have a chip card, by scanning on machines like this. Departing now is an ICRM set, hauled by 2 Bombardier Trax locomotives. Whilst the latter dates from 2014, the coaches themselves date from the 1980s and are rather run down and unfit for purpose. They currently maintain the 5 train per hour frequency on the NS Intercity Direct out of Amsterdam. All go to Rotterdam, with 2 extended to Breda and 1 to Brussels via Antwerp. Our train is arriving now, which is the brand new ICNG intended to replace the ICRM stock on the Intercity Direct. These are part of Alstom's Coradia Stream platform and were specifically built to offer the connection originally planned to be provided by the Fyra service, which NS withdrew in 2013. I invite you to watch my ETR 700 video, which details this further. There are 3 variants of the ICNG, the Class 3100 variant, which is 5 carriages long, and the 3200 and 3300 variants, both of which are 8 carriages. The Class 3200 variant is the train standing in front of us right now, whilst the 3300 is an additional 20 units intended to operate the full Amsterdam to Brussels service by 2025, and as such will be equipped for the 3 kV voltage system used in Belgium. Right, let's board this brand new train and take a look around. We of course enter the bike storage area. Lounge seating in standard class? Can't remember the last time I saw that on a high-speed train. The seating consists in standard is in a 2x2 configuration. Most of the seats are table seats, though you will find some which are airline style, particularly the raised ones above the articulated bogies. A rather impressive looking accessible toilet can be seen here, which I'll look at later. The PRM specs are already a huge improvement to the loco hall stock, which is fantastic and something other Dutch intercity trains severely lack from my experience. First class is indicated by the red seat covers. Lounge seating can also be found here as well, as with standard class, and the arrangement is in a 2x1 configuration. The earlier shot didn't show it well, but the bike space is rather generous, as to be expected from a Dutch train. Another thing I've noticed is a large amount of luggage racks present, which is essential given the trains primarily serve Schiphol Airport. Well, it seems my walkthrough has been put to a halt, as there appears to be a technical issue with the interconnecting doors. That being said, let's take our seat and go through today's route. Our route out of the Dutch capital sees us call at Schiphol Airport, before moving on to the HSL Zuid, which will take us non-stop to Rotterdam. We are scheduled to arrive in the Netherlands' second largest city, an economic powerhouse, at around 1 Central European time. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these new trains can do, and I'm glad you're here to join me, so sit back and enjoy the ride. We depart from Amsterdam Centraal, bang on time. I also want to take the time to say I hope you're enjoying the video and to remind you to subscribe and enable notifications for more content such as this weekly. It's free to do so and is the best way to support me in my work. Thanks! To the right, we pass one of NS's train maintenance depots. If you look closely, you can catch a glimpse of the famous Kaplopper train, an icon of the Dutch railways for, well, fairly obvious reasons. We can also see a large amount of ICNG trains, which now form the backbone of the NS Sprinter fleet. We now navigate out of the Amsterdam suburbs on the line to Schiphol Airport. This is one of my favourite parts of the route to Rotterdam, particularly as we use a large number of flyovers and have great urban views. And I know I always say this in almost all my videos, but it's always satisfying speeding past cars on a motorway. After 7 minutes, we enter the underground tunnel and arrive into Amsterdam Airport Schiphol, the main airport in the Netherlands, which in 2019, pre-pandemic, saw almost 72 million passengers, making it Europe's third busiest airport. After leaving Schiphol Airport, we move on to the HSL Zuid, the high-speed line connecting Amsterdam to Rotterdam and the Belgian border, which opened in 2009. But before we go into this further, let's check out the features of this brand new train, starting with the seat. Contrary to most new trains, this is incredibly comfortable and is an improvement on the already comfy seats on the ICRM coaches. The winged headrest is a nice touch too. There's also a foldable armrest. There's very generous legroom and a great seat pitch too, as well as a footrest, though those of you who've been here for a while will know that I'm not a huge fan of these personally. The legroom is aided by the seat recline, which I believe is a first on NS trains. To operate it, hold the lever at the seat base and slide your body forwards and backwards as appropriate to adjust. A reasonable sized tray table is also included, and just above this is a rather nifty coat hanger. I have to admit, I only clocked that it operated through a push button system when I tried Deutsche Bahn's new ICE3 Neo the following day. Be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss my video on this train. Alternatively, there's also a coat hanger located next to the window. Just above this is a reading light which works as a touch centre and requires minimal force to operate. Vice the older coaching stock these trains are replacing, Power and USB Type-A sockets are located beneath the seats in both first and standard class. Better than having to reach towards the ceiling for one like on the older trains. I also had to give the lounge seating a go, and it did not disappoint. Very comfortable. Perhaps one of the greatest innovations of the ICNG is the unique use of the mood lighting. Blue indicates a work zone, purple is the quiet zone where talking and electronic device use must be kept to a minimum, and orange is a meet and greet zone. I also came across a bin which is sorted by food, plastic and other waste, which I don't think I've seen on a train before, so that's very impressive. The display screens show the route we're taking, the temperature and the train's current speed. There's also the added bonus of displaying the new features that ICNG has compared to its predecessors. Well, that's one way to sell a train. The HSL Zuid route to Rotterdam takes us across the Dutch countryside, with plenty of great views to be seen. That is, until we come across the soundproof barriers scattered across the line. Nevertheless, here is where we get to experience one of the greatest advantages over the track sets, travelling at 200 km per hour along the line. Whilst this is still significantly lower than the Fyra's top speed of 250 km per hour and the HSL Zuid line speed of 300 km per hour, the track's locomotives are capped at 160 km per hour, so this is a huge improvement for journey times on the Intercity Direct. The final thing to check out is the toilet. I'll be checking out the accessible toilet on the ICNG today, given it boasts more new features than that on the ICRM coaches. Right, door locked, we can begin. Definitely the cleanest toilet I've ever seen on an NS train. All others I've been on were heavily vandalised and almost made me feel like I could catch a disease. Everything else functions as it should, so that's a thumbs up from me on the ICNG toilets. Time to head back to my seat now as we complete the journey to Rotterdam. So, what do I think? Technical issues with the door aside, the ICNG is definitely a revolution for the Dutch railways. The impressive comfort and features on board really make it superior to what they're replacing, and it truly is a game changer for the Intercity Direct. It's also great to see NS finally operate high-speed trains in its own right, and see them last more than 39 days in service. As for the ticket price, I paid €33.33 for my first class single, including the €2.90 supplement, both through the NS app. NS tickets are not cheap, and there are no benefits of booking in advance. That being said though, there's definitely better value for money with the ICNG compared to the Trax locomotives, but I'll look at this in a future video. For now, we leave the HSL Zuid and arrive into Rotterdam with a nice 1 minute early arrival. Ah, perfect level boarding. There's nothing quite like it. So how will you know if your service is an ICNG? It's best to check the NS app or use train posties, which I've linked in the description below. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it if you did and share it, as that really helps the channel to grow. If you're new to the channel and want to see more content such as this, why not consider subscribing as well as enabling notifications, as I upload new videos every Friday at 5 PM. Well, it's now time for me to make the most of this lovely weather before heading back to Amsterdam. So, as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.